Now is really the best time when you think about your financial habits in the new year. At this point, most of the resolutions have been broken, but I'm hoping that you're really holding on to the financial resolution. And in this video, guys, we're going to be looking at the good financial habits that you really do need to adopt this year, starting with number one, regularly reviewing and updating your financial plan. Now, some of the videos where we do cover the financial plan and making sure it is really the goals, short-term goals, long-term goals, when it comes to financial planning, whether it's for retirement, whether it's for your education, children's education, if it is the trip to Disney World, really figuring out the financial habits that tick with you and how exactly you're going to make them within your time frame, make them work. Now, if you're like me and you got, 10, 20 years till retirement, you can really set up a plan, make sure you know how much you're investing on a monthly basis. What is that going to look like on an annual basis? And how much do you need, or how much are you planning to have at retirement? So again, along the path in really reviewing and updating this financial plan, you can make adjustments where you need to. If it is, eliminating some more debt, if it is putting more into your 401k or your IRA accounts, you can really change your track a little bit to make sure not only the present you is set up for financial success, but also the future you. Now, this, of course, is going to just completely rocket your ability to forecast exactly what you're going to do in the future, making sure that you're not left behind. Now, the second one we look at is setting your financial goals that are meaningful to you. I cannot specify this enough, guys. It is really what is important to you. What is the reason? When you see what your drive is and what your goal is, and you know the logic, why you want to get from point A to point B, this again is going to make an absolute game changer when you have meaning, when you have purpose behind something. And even when you think outside of the financial landscape, guys, if you have a drive, if you have a reason that is strong enough, you will always find a way, you will always find a will. There's going to be a driving force that is going to really slingshot your financial goals into where you want to be. It could be as easy as paying off $20,000 in debt. What kind of time frame are you going to put around that? It could be increasing, making $10,000 as a side income, side hustle in the next year, increasing your net worth by $10, $15, $20,000 in the next year. You have to be very specific, guys. Now, I know if you know anything when it comes to management, when it comes to goal planning, most of them are set on SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and timely. If you're checking all 5 of these buckets when it comes to SMART goals, especially when you put it behind finances, it is going to make a big difference, guys. SMART specifically, is it something that you're going to be able to do? Measurable. What is going to be really how you can track it? What is going to be the methodology and what is going to be the logic behind the tracking? Actionable. What are you going to do? What have you done, or what are you going to do that might mean that you're cutting back on subscription services, that you're not going out to eat, that 3 days a week you're going to bring your lunch into the office instead of going out to grab lunch? There can be a lot of things, guys, that you can really put behind this. And then, of course, realistic. If I say I'm going to make and save $100,000 a year and I'm not making $100,000 a year, realistically, probably not going to happen because I don't even have that much income to play with, and we still have bills to pay. And then, of course, timely, guys. You have to put a time frame. Now, my recommendation when it comes to this is putting it on a sticky note, putting it on somewhere, whether it's your desk, your mirror, wherever it may be, and looking at that goal every single day, guys. They say if you write down your goal on a sticky note, or you write it down and you visualize it and see it, you are 70% more likely to actually achieve that goal, which is kind of crazy. Now, the third financial habit we look at is creating a budget and sticking to it, and it is your guide to spending. Now, with this, guys, it's kind of crazy, but the pay yourself first, regardless of who you watch, what financial advisor that you really follow, paying yourself first and paying it automatically is an absolute game changer because it gives you the rest of money that you're working with. So essentially, the way you could look at this is, let's say I have $50 of every paycheck. That is going into another account. That is going to be building up for my emergency fund. The rest of what I have left is what I'm using, income minus my expenses, for whatever you have left at that point. This, of course, is going to make a very, very good plan because you're going to know your income. You can bucket out your needs, your wants, and then also your savings, your investing, or your debt repayment with that last 20%. If you're doing, the 50, 30, 20 rule. Personally, I recommend doing the zero-based budgeting. It is something that I absolutely love, and going down to close to zero every single month and every single paycheck does make a big difference when it comes to budgeting. But again, creating that budget and making sure that it is your guide to spending. And guys, if you like the content that I'm putting out there, please consider subscribing to the channel down below. And let's get into number 4. finding passive income to improve your income. This is one of the biggest game changers, guys, when it comes to YouTube. When it comes to the passive income generation, I do have a gaming channel, and this channel is going to be monetized soon, which is going to be a second form of passive income. Now, I know it's not a true passive form of income, which a majority of them are not, which means when I put out a video, I only have to put out a equal amount of effort to have the video out there, and have the video out there for months, weeks, years, even possibly decades on YouTube. That can still bring in passive income. So again, you put out a little bit up front. It's not a true passive income, but putting out that little bit of effort is going to create a generation passive income that I don't have to go above and beyond exactly what I'm putting in to the videos. Now, true passive income, guys, comes from like dividends from stocks, I would say. When even you look at a passive income, I think more of like a secondary income, or more like a side hustle, where you can improve your income without increasing your expenses. That is really the trick, guys. When you get a raise at work, when you get a bonus, how are you utilizing the income that you're doing to debt repayment, or is it going into an investing strategy that you're really following? Improving your income. So again, you have your income, you have your expenses. Whatever's left is what you have left. If you can boost up that income, if you can create and generate a lot more income, passive, or if it is the side hustle, you can really slingshot not only the debt repayment, but also if you're looking to invest, you can amplify what you're putting in there very, very fast. Now, the fifth one we look at is the emergency fund, guys. This is one of the huge things. 40% of Americans could not cover a $1,000 expense. That is right, guys. We are looking at 40% of Americans cannot cover an expense at all. This could be refrigerator breaks, your dog needs to go to the vet, your car breaks down, you have a flat tire. Most people at that point will go right back to borrowing. It'll go back to loans, it'll go back to credit cards. When you go that route, when you think of a credit card, if you're putting $1,000 expense on a credit card without the money to pay it off at a 22%, guys, you're going to be carrying that debt for an absorbent amount of time, meaning not only are you paying back the original $1,000 you spent, if that was what the expense is, but you're coupling that with interest on top of there, which means not only are you paying back the $1,000 that you can't afford, take a quick note of that, but you're also paying additional interest on there, which is the reason, guys, we kind of call it the $1,000 fund, or the baby emergency fund is what I kind of call it. So what that means is setting aside and saving $1,000. Now, for the 40% of Americans that cannot do that, look at the budget, see where you can at least get 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks out of the budget, regardless of what you have to really cut back at or cut down on. Put that $1,000 aside, and then we get into, of course, the debt repayment, guys. When you look at investing, when you think of 401k, when you think of HSA accounts, all of these major great investment tools are just that, guys. It is tools, but the utilization of those really does have to come after the debt repayment piece. I don't know anywhere that you're going to be guaranteed a 22, 24% return, which is what they're charging you on credit cards. You have to eliminate the debt. What you're going to do is, by the debt elimination, when you get your paycheck, you're going to keep and maintain a lot more of that paycheck. It's not going to be going to debt, which means you have a lot more money to invest. You have a lot more money to even snowball to debt repayment, to get rid of debt in your entirety. I did a video a little bit ago when it talks about the investor and the borrower, and exactly which one are you guys. Majority of people in America are borrowers, which means that you owe money to other individuals and you're stealing from the future you because of the money that you're actually utilizing today. And number 6, paying off your credit cards in full. Now we're looking at $1.1 trillion in credit card debt. Is right, guys, with a T. Make sure not only a couple things, guys, if you pay your credit card off in full, you can still get the reward points, which again is kind of a thin line, a slippery slope for people that are paying them off and not paying them off. But 2, if they're paid off in full, you don't pay interest. And 3, if you pay them off in full, your credit score is going to be really, really set up well because you're paying those off in full. Now, of course, when it comes to a credit scores only make a difference if you're looking to borrow money. If you're not looking to borrow money, it doesn't make a difference at all. But also with those credit cards, guys, you want to keep that utilization 30% or less, which means if you have a $1,000 credit limit on that card, $300 or less every single month. When you start getting north of that 30% utilization mark, you will start seeing a negative impact on your credit score. In addition, you will also see the interest that goes up faster and faster. Number 7, we get into bringing food from home. Now, this, of course, cutting down on takeout, cutting down on the cost. When you look at how much food is at the supermarket, you can kind of amplify that if you're going out to eat, guys. Dollar menus do not exist anymore. Even looking at coupons, even utilizing, gift cards, even utilizing Groupon, it is still incredibly expensive. Family of 4 to eat is over $50 for a regular meal, which means if you're doing it 2 or 3 days a week, that's right, you're spending $150 a week, if not more, just to go out and eat. Now you look at that over a month, you're talking $600 just to cover those meals during the week, which is kind of crazy when you think of your food budget. Over the course of the month, in addition with everything else, you're talking probably $2,000 to $3,000, depending on exactly how much you spend out there. Now you couple in also some coffee, maybe some impulse buying at the grocery store, making sure, again, that you're sticking to your budget and seeing exactly what you can allocate, because I feel like the food budget, guys, is eating up a ton of the household income that we see, making it very, very hard to really get it in check. Now, most people said through the regular eating out and things of that, just for lunch itself is $3,000 to $4,000 in a calendar year is what they kind of say on average. Now, the final one that we look at, guys, which I am a huge proponent of, talking openly about finances with your friends and with your family. We actually did a video again a little bit ago that talked about the family unit and really coming up with a family financial plan, not really just focusing on you as an individual or you and your spouse, but incorporating your family, your kids in it. And the younger you do this, guys, it is going to be much better. Trust me, I've seen and I've lived it from experience, including things and your kids knowing the value of things. But not only that is the price tag, where if we're doing skating, if we're doing swim, if you're doing volleyball, it's $100 here, $150 there. You buy some other things here. They really need to know, the cost of items and the cost it is to do things, and the realization that, all of these things that we do come with a price tag, where it is kind of money for time, which is what a job is, but really, again, the realization of how expensive that things are. So guys, overall, focusing on the really good financial habits into 2024 are going to be a game changer when it comes to having the ability to live debt-free, guys. We have the debt-free journey sign right up there. That is right. That is our goal, the debt-free journey. We have one and only one final payment that is left, which is the mortgage, and that it is free and clear, guys. It is the debt-free journey in its entirety, paid off and sealed. So guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.